Hi there, Smart Drivers. Rick with Smart Drive Test talking today about the role of dispatcher. Stories abound about dispatchers. One of the favorites is truck driver gets pulled over by the DOT. DOT says, what is he hauling? He says, oh, I'm hauling a load of dispatcher brains. I.e. dispatchers are not very bright because the truck's empty. However, despite the jokes abound and drivers usually not understanding the role of dispatch, dispatch and drivers have an integral relationship, and the role that dispatchers play in a truck driver's life is integral to his or her success. So we're going to be right back to talk to you about the role of dispatch. Hi there, Smart Drivers. Welcome back. Talking to you today about the role of dispatch. This is mostly applies to regional and long haul truck drivers, a little bit to bus drivers, but not really. Most of the schedule takes care of anything that's going to happen with bus drivers and whatnot. So mostly regional and long haul truck drivers. Story, driving truck, pulled into Edmonton, had a load going back to Vancouver. Dispatch says to me, oh, we have a small pallet to put on the back of the truck and put that on. They'll just pull it off when you get to where you're going to go your full load, and then they'll put it back on at the end. Not a problem. The pallet was, less than 2 feet square and probably about 10 inches high. They stuck it on the back of the truck, went down to the place to pick up. They weighed me because it was a load of recycled paper, and I backed into the door and opened the doors. The guy looks in, he disappears. This other guy comes out, big guy, 6'5", probably, pushing 300 pounds. He's got kind of one eye that's kind of squirrely. Says to me, you can't have that on there. What do you mean you can't have that on there? Well, you can't have that on there. We have the whole load. Well, I just said to him, just take it off and stick it over there, and when you're done putting it on, put it back on. No, we bought the truck. You can't have that on there. In this case, it's not the truck driver's job to decide what to do. You have to call dispatch, and dispatch gets paid enough that they're going to make the decision about that. In the end, what happened was that he was adamant that we were not going to be able to put that pallet back on. So dispatch sent another truck out. We put the pallet on the other truck. We drove down the road, cut the seals off my trailer, stuck the pallet back on the full load, and I carried on to Vancouver. So in instances like that where things go sideways, you have to call dispatch. First and foremost, truck drivers, what is your role? Your role is to move freight, services, and sometimes people, but not very much. Freight and services between point A and point B as quickly as possible. Now, how do you do that? You do that by working with dispatch, and dispatch's role is to match available loads with available equipment and drivers. And usually those drivers and loads have to be in the same geographical vicinity of where you are going to be when you're empty. The role of dispatch is to match available freight with available trucks and drivers in their fleet. So they're always working to get drivers loads because the situation is always fluid, the situation is always dynamic, things happen, traffic congestion, trucks break down and whatnot. So dispatch are always working to try and keep things going. And it's important for truck drivers to keep in mind that you must communicate effectively with dispatch. So how often do you communicate with dispatch as a regional or long haul truck driver? Now mostly we're talking about long haul truck drivers. Regional truck drivers are probably going to be in contact with their dispatch on a more frequent basis, but minimum every 24 hours you're going to contact dispatch. You also call them 1 hour from destination, that you're going to get unloaded, that you're on time, that you're probably going to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning. If that was your ETA, yes, in fact, I'm going to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning. Call them, tell them you're on time. That way they can start the process for getting your next load in place, calling shippers and say, listen, my truck's 2 hours away. And then that way the shipper for your next load is going to be ready for you to arrive. So 1 hour from destination, when you actually get unloaded and you're going to pick up your next load. You call them when you get unloaded. You also call them if things go sideways. For example, the story that I told about the pallet and they wouldn't put the pallet back on the truck, you need to call dispatch to make a decision. If you break down, you get delayed in traffic or congestion or whatnot, or you get sick, anytime that things go sideways, you're going to call dispatch and inform them of what's happening. So when you call dispatch, what information do you need to have to give dispatch? First and foremost, in large trucking companies, you're going to be known by your unit number. Whatever the unit number is on your truck, you're going to have to give that to them. When you get loaded and you're taking off, you're going to give them an ETA to your destination, how many hours you will have available. Anytime that things go sideways, you're going to call dispatch. You get caught in traffic, you get caught in weather, you get sick, the truck breaks down. Anytime that things go sideways, and again, the story that I told you at the beginning about the pallet and not wanting to put it on the truck with the full load because they own the truck and they paid for it, that's when you get to call dispatch. So anytime anything goes sideways or you just don't know, call dispatch and get some information, because if you're new and you're trying to figure stuff out, call dispatch. They'll hook you up with somebody that knows the information, or they'll find somebody that will get you the answer that you need. So when you call dispatch, what information do you need to give dispatch? In larger trucking companies, you're going to be known by your unit number. So you need to give them your unit number. Obviously, give them the first name too. That way you can have a bit of a conversation. You're going to give them your location. Are you on time to your destination? Yes or no. Reasons why that you may or may not have been delayed, or you're ahead of schedule. If you're running on your logbook, the available hours that you have on your logbook as well. All of this is going to tie into your route planning and your ETA. And for route planning, I'll put a card up here, and this will show you the other video on how to do route planning so that you can give dispatch a proper ETA. Finally, dispatch might also want the bills of lading. So those are the times that you call dispatch, when you call them, and what information you need to call them. Remember, you can't do your job without dispatch. Think of yourself a little bit like a CIA operative, Central Intelligence Agency operative. Dispatch is your handler. They're the ones that give you the information. If you communicate effectively with dispatch, they'll keep you rolling up and down the road, keep the wheels turning, and keep you making money. In conclusion, dispatch's job is to match available equipment and drivers with available freight. Your job as a driver is to move freight and services between point A and point B as quickly as possible. The two are integral, they dovetail. If you do not communicate effectively with dispatch, they can't do their job, and they can't keep you moving up and down the road. They can't keep you making money. So, call dispatch minimum every 24 hours, 1 hour from destination, at destination when you get unloaded, when you get loaded, or if anything goes sideways. The information you need to give dispatch quickly: unit number, location, estimated time of arrival, are you on time, and the available hours that you have to run in your logbook. And they might want the bills of lading as well, but usually not as a rule. I'm Rick with Smart Drive Test. If you like what you see here, head over to my website, get your checklist for the scale house. Lots of paperwork that you have to take in as a new driver. I'll give you a checklist of that paperwork. Registration for the truck and trailer, pre-trip inspections, MVI certificates, logbooks, driver's license, all of that information has to be taken into the scale house. If you can take it in one hit and you look organized in front of the scale people, the authorities rather, less likely that they're going to do a full inspection on your vehicle. So head over to my website, get that checklist. It's going to help you out, especially if you're a new driver, so that your stop at the scale is going to be nothing more than a minor convenience. I'm Rick with Smart Drive Test. Thanks very much for watching. If you like what you saw here, subscribe, share, leave a comment down in the comment box there. All of that helps us out. Thanks very much for watching. Remember, pick the best answer, not necessarily the right answer. Have a great day. Bye now. The battery died. I'm doing it again. Yay! Doing it again. Woo! Woo!